Who is Anubis Cruger? It would be really reductive to just call him a tall blue dog man who walks around and tells people what to do, so let's go down the list. He's the commander of SPD, he was the former leader of the first SPD team, and most importantly, he's the Shadow Ranger, one of the many extra rangers who are part of the SPD team, but he was the first one to join, and he's my favorite. Due to the nature of his job and his ranger status, he's a part of a rare breed of characters who are rangers who are also mentors as well. He stands toe-to-toe with Dr. Tommy Oliver, RJ, and Udana. I think the reason why I liked Anubis Cruger growing up is because I liked the way that he differed from other mentors. A lot of Power Rangers mentors just feel very stereotypic, omnipotent being who knows all and doesn't really have a lot of flaws, or they're just kind of there for exposition. But Doggie Cruger was truly a character. I always loved how authoritative he was because I felt like it did represent how a true military-like commander would operate in the Power Rangers universe. He has a sense of humor, but he isn't afraid to get stern. A lot of the times he needs to be reeled in by Cat Manx, who's a little bit more empathetic to what the Rangers are going through. But Cruger understands how the tough love that the Rangers need will turn them into great heroes. And I think the two characters who are the most important of demonstrating how good his leadership skills are Jack and Sky. Jack was an orphan who was forced to become a thief, and Cruger decided to recruit him and make him a cop. But ultimately, that decision was Cruger teaching Sky a lesson about valuing whoever is leader, even if it's not himself. Because if you hadn't noticed, Sky has a pretty big ego about who should and shouldn't be a leader. Most of that comes from nepotism and his own superiority, having been the son of a former Red Ranger. But I also think that putting Jack into that position after being a person who only really thought about the needs of himself and basic survival, he put him in a situation where he would have to become a more empathetic person. I don't think Z ever needed to learn that lesson, but Jack most certainly did. And it makes sense for a person in his predicament to be focused more on his own survival, helping other people, but only within his own means. But being a Power Ranger and an SPD officer has more to do with being a part of a community and serving the people than it is just doing enough to scrape by. And Jack ultimately leaves SPD to become a person who can do that but on his own terms. And that's all due to Doggie Cruger. I imagine that Cruger would have felt real guilty if he made Sky a leader. Not only did he understand that Sky wasn't ready for it, but he also probably felt bad about not allowing Sky to fulfill a role that he was desperate for. But it was necessary for Sky to understand what being a leader is. Unfortunately, there are tons of people who are in positions of power who assume that being a leader means that other people serve them and not the other way around. And Sky was a person who, if he was given authority at the beginning of Power Rangers SPD, he would have not have wielded it well. And being forced to sit back and play second fiddle to a person you think is less competent, but then slowly growing to gain their trust and respect them, is exactly what Sky needed. And only Cruger knew that. All in all, he's a great mentor, and I like the idea that he is such a multifaceted individual who thinks a lot about the people that he has a part of his team and how to best teach them. It's really good to show kids what a good mentor figure looks like, and I think Doggie Cruger is exactly the mentor figure that I needed.